Hi everyone, my name is Amanda, and today I am the moderator and we are showcasing your psychic tarot friends. We have 3 psychics on our panel today. Our first psychic is Psychic for Lovers, known as Pastor Moses. She is a spiritual pastor. She is a psychic, tarot card reader, clairvoyant, claircognizant, intuitive, and dream interpreter with over 30 plus years of experience. She's worked as a psychic online with keen, live advice, and 5-star psychic advice. Her website is www.psychicforlovers.com. She does private readings, and her YouTube channel is Psychic FOUR Lovers. Janet is the second psychic on our panel with over 40 plus years of experience. She has been on over 100 plus TV shows such as David Letterman, Sally Jesse Raphael, Regis and Kelly, The Joe Franklin Show, Joy Dayhouse, and multiple radio shows. She is a psychic, clairvoyant, clairsentient, aura reader, medium, picture reader, palmistry, handwriting, head psychic, and healer. Her contact info is BKLYN GYM @gmail.com. Virginia.
No. Sorry.
Virginia is a psychic with 35 years of experience. She is a healer, medium, astrologist, intuitive, empathic, tarot reader, psychic, psychometry, and clairsentiment. Her email is Ginia, GINIA1 @hotmail.com. On May 21st, 2022, about 2 weeks before the verdict, 3 psychics predicted that Johnny Depp was going to win the trial. We also predicted that it was not going to be a total win because Johnny Depp was not going to get the total amount of money. It was also predicted that Disney will offer Johnny his role again. First, we will be starting with Virginia, and she will be giving a background on the trial. Virginia, would you mind starting, please?
Sure. Originally, the trial started in England. Johnny sued the Washington Post for the op-ed Amber wrote in regards to him being an abuser. He lost that trial and then brought it to America and sued Amber Heard directly for defamation of character and to state that he was not an abuser. He never abused her. And the evidence that she brought forward was a lot of lying, and it didn't fit properly with the accusation. So he won the trial. They did prove, it was proven that she caused him defamation of character. And for 6 years, he didn't get any work. As soon as that article came out in the Washington Post, he was taken out from Jack Sparrow, from Disney, from Warner Brothers, and all his roles. So he wasn't able to work for 6 years. So the trial was to get to clean his name basically and restore his reputation in the business and with his fans and everybody, which I think is happening. Right now she wants to appeal the case, but it's going to be difficult because in order to appeal, she has to come up with $14 million, the amount of money that Johnny Depp won, according to the juror. So in order to appeal it, but she can't come up with the 14 million. So I don't think, that's going to happen. We're not sure that's going to happen. And also, there's a lot of suing going on back and forth with other small things with friends and this and that because he won the case. So that's basically it with the trial. The trial's over, and that's basically it.
Thank you for that, Virginia.
You're welcome.
So next we're going to go into a handwriting analysis of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's handwriting. I will go ahead and share my screen, and Janet will start off with the handwriting analysis. To the left, we have Johnny Depp's handwriting, and to the right, we have Amber Heard's handwriting. Janet, would you mind starting, please?
Okay, but my email, my thing is BKLYNGYM123 Okay, I want to straighten that. All right, I have the handwriting of Johnny Depp, and his handwriting is straight up and down, which means basically for him to cope in the world, his head rules his heart. But he has a very big imagination, according to his signature, and a lot of determination. He is a very cooperative person that uses his head, and he understands things quickly. But he does have a little fear of committing, of a commitment now. And his writing also shows that he likes to keep to himself. He also, at this point, has a little bit of a lower self-esteem that he would have liked to have had, but it was just a little hard on him to be accused of all these things when he tried very hard to have his head rule his heart, how to handle things correctly. This is not a person that gets out of control, that beats up women, or that loses his, he would lose his temper only if he was really severely provoked. But everything in his writing shows that he's very determined. He has a lot of respect for himself, and he can understand things quickly. His imagination and his dreams bring him out into a dream world where in everyday life he does practical things, and he has an extremely good memory, which probably makes him a very good actor. And he likes to feel that he could stand on his own. Oh, he questions everything he's told. He doesn't believe anything until he figures it out in his mind.
Thank you for that, Janet. And how about Amber Heard?
Okay, her handwriting shows that she's living in a state of thinking that she created a person in her mind how she wanted to be. So she lives totally, she's not authentic in her life. She gives off a presentation like a princess would give off, where her writing shows that she's extremely, extremely vain and self-deceptive, completely dishonesty in her handwriting, closed to people, not open-minded. It puts flourishes in her writing, wants to acquire things as much as she can, and is very, very manipulative in her thoughts and her mind. Her mind is very clever, but she gives a presentation of just being lighthearted and like a princess, acting kind and nice. It's all an act. She doesn't know how to be authentic. She's extremely determined to get whatever she wants. It's a handwriting. When I do work for businesses, that I tell them never hire this person because they're deliberate. They'll take their time. They'll want to acquire things. Extreme self-vanity, self-deception, deception of others. She can't, and so she creates an image, and she just wants people to believe that image with extreme determination. But a lot of people do see right through it.
Thank you for that, Janet. That was great.
Yes, I have some questions, if it's okay, Janet, about the handwriting. Can you put it?
Yes.
Please?
Put the handwriting back.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yes. So with Johnny Depp, his signature is very unique. Is there anything
Yes.
that you could think about his signature? I think it's really actually a nice, beautiful signature. It's unique, though. Very unique.
Yes, it's a person that like a cartoonist. They would draw their cartoons right. They do everything right, but they become a cartoonist because they have extreme imagination. And Donnie is determined to allow his imagination to rule his life in his dreams and his ideas, and he loves it. But when asked to do a job, he will do it right. He will not put his imagination into the job. He'll do exactly what he's told. He will understand it. He will use his head, but he will do that in order to do what's right so that he can keep expressing his imagination. He will always create new things. He cannot live without a creative life. He's an example of someone that has a lot of imagination and a lot of creativeness, and just wants like a legacy of his creativeness. And he'll always do what's right and not disappoint anybody.
And it's so funny because I don't really follow him that much, but I know a couple of parts that he played, and it seems like the parts he plays is mostly parts that has to do with like you said, imagination. He would play things like characters, you know what I mean, that are not real characters.
That's who he is. He loves it, and he needs people to notice. Wow, you got, for a guy who does everything right, your characters are really characters, and you play it perfectly. He wants to do his imagination perfectly. He's not sloppy about his work. He's extremely careful.
Virginia, do you agree with that? That most of them are.
Yes. What I'd like to say is, between the two of them, that his handwriting is so legible. He's not all over the second sentence or the second line. Everything is clear and across. Where the other one, she's all over, up and down in the letters. It's like mayhem. He's just very, like you said, like a perfectionist, very clear. He stays in the line. You see it, everything, but with creativity added. Hers, she's trying to be creative, but she's all over the place. It's not real. It's like so different from each other. I agree. And he said, he's always said that he has to get into his characters 100%. Yes, he likes to invent. He says the most important thing to him is invent the character, the way they look. He puts together the look. He's allowed. They give him the freedom, because they know how talented he is, to draw his own characters, as like the Chocolate Factory and the Mad Hatter. He and Jack Sparrow. He's actually put the look as how they're supposed to look himself. He draws it and he gives it to the company and says, this is what I think he's supposed to look like, and they let him go with it because they know he's very creative at that.
Yeah. It's like fantasy characters normally play. It's so funny that you said that, because it's almost like I feel just fantasy with this guy. He really has these images in his head, and he goes with the fantasy. So, and then the characters he plays are mostly fantasy characters. And then when I look at the line at the end of the two sentences, and he got the line still continuing, it's like he wants to continue to that flow of, creativity. I don't know how to do handwriting analysis, but you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense, Janet.
Pastor Moses, if you look at her handwriting where it says thank you on the bottom and thank you on the top, do you see that long line with a hook on the end?
Yes.
That's fishing. She's going fishing. What you gonna get next? And you see the black holes in those thank you, and the O's and the A's are blacked out. That's total self-deception. That's a deception of others. When you deceive yourself, you deceive others.
So in Amber handwriting, it looks like she's doing XXO. I thought it was like, love you kind of thing. I don't know. What do you get with that at the bottom?
That's all fake. It's all like, oh, I'm the princess, I'm the movie star. The whole handwriting is fake. But she doesn't realize that all the secretness and all the deception and all her drive to get ahead and to have people believe she's the princess. She cannot accept herself as an original character.
I have a question. You see where it says thank you, where the Y is all the way down into the word beautiful? Isn't that does that consider deception? Like overlapping everything?
That's war. That means I'm taking you over. I'll take over anybody that interferes with me. That's
Oof.
war. That's a weapon. That's a sword.
Okay. Thank you.
What about with I think it says beautiful, what's that word? Pants or something? What is it she said it was? Beautiful something?
Pants. P-A-N-T-S, pants.
That's what I thought. But then she got the apostrophe with an X at the bottom, not a dot. Most people put a dot, right? Why she put an X? That's strange, right?
Well, she wants to show she's different and she's special. And I mean it. When she put that line and she put an X, that means I'm determined and I mean it.
Yikes.
Wow.
And also on the word pie, had a pair, P-A-I-R. Do you see that one? Had a pair.
Yeah.
That the way that I-R is shows she's deliberate. You tell her hurry up, she'll take her time. So she's a deliberate person.
Okay, what about where it says haven't and she crosses the T and it's all the way down?
Wait, let me find it. Where's the word? Wait.
Haven't.
Oh, that's brutality.
Happens.
Every woman, I tell every woman, if your man writes, if there's a lot of T's down and it's fatter at the end, that's not just sarcasm, it's brutality.
So would that show that she's abusive? Is that an abusive?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Sneaky though. It's not in every letter, so it's hidden because the princess wouldn't be that way. But I guess at the end, when she's a little tired, the brutality slips out.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I feel like she lied on that sentence. You know what? If you think about the sentence, do you think she was lying when she said that? I haven't had a pair of pants, she said.
Like that. I haven't had a pair of pants. Yeah, like that since I don't know.
Yeah, well, the object is that everything's blocked out. All the O's and A's, she doesn't see. There's no O's. The E's are closed. It's her everything she perceived, not reality.
And would the I mean she goes back in the past because it said the I is all the way long under the much, where it says much period, and then she writes I, and the bottom.
It's called back to self.
Oh.
So when she write the sentence, I haven't had a pants, pants of what? I haven't had a pair of pants like that since I don't know when. Did she lie about that sentence? Because I feel like she's lying. Even with that T cross down.
She's manipulating. She's manipulating because you see the hook on the ends of the eye, the hook, the fishing. Fishing. I'm fishing for you to say, "Oh, I'll help you. I'll give you what you want. You look so pretty."
Not really complimenting them.
Now
complimenting, but it's not really.
That is back to self. It's all about me, me, me. But I'm giving you a presentation as the princess walks out of the stage.
And what about where it says pair of that F? I never seen an F like that in my life.
Because the F is determination to get what she wants.
Okay. Very cool.
It's good to have determination, but she has the determination with the deception at the end. You see the little curly Q on the end?
Yeah, that's craziness.
That's deception. That means I'm determined to get I'm determined to get everything I want, but I have to lie to get it.
You know what's funny, because we're all psychic, and when you look at it, even when you just look at it, it hits you very strangely. I don't know. Yeah. When I see that, it just hits me not correct, not right.
Yeah.
All those loops and long, like you said, the fishing poles, it just doesn't hit me right, And
writing is that tiny. You see, it's tiny and big and tiny and big. Tiny is mind manipulating to get what they want. Tiny is you got the brains to manipulate. Not people who have real big, large handwriting can't be so sneaky. They don't know how.
Well, I think because both her parents were heroin addicts,
Yeah.
I think that people like that have to learn survival skills. So probably as a child, in order to survive in that household, she had to learn manipulation tactics to survive it. You know,
Right.
that's what happens in very dysfunctional households. They have to learn survival skills.
That's right. I think you pinpointed it.
Thank you.
What
Thank you for
about?
the
I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, thank you for the lesson in the handwriting too.
Yeah, what about at the bottom when it says thank you, so, and so has lines under so much? You see the lines under so? Like 2 lines?
Yeah, because it's assuming that you're gonna accept her bullshit. I mean, her princess image. She's assuming, so she's saying, "Oh, thank you so much for helping me." And there are other people going, "What? Why would we want to help you?" "Oh, yeah, but you're a princess." "Oh, yeah, okay. We want to go to your party. We'll act like we like you."
Oh, okay, okay. So let's go back to Johnny for a second. So his handwriting, when he signs it and he has that line going up, what is that about in the signature?
That means that he's determined to go as high as he can go in his imagination and create new things. So even Disney should ask him, "What's your next idea for an idea?" He'll come up with the best ideas ever.
Agreed. Yeah. You know what? When you asked about that line, I got a premonition that it's like he's straightforward with the line and the hook, like you said, and she's trying to be like that, but it's not real.
Yeah.
Right? It's like he writes the line up with a hook, but he's more real than hers. That's all the way down and all about her.
When someone makes a line up like he did, though, it means that he's absolutely unique in his thoughts and his ideas of creativeness. And if they allowed him, he will take a movie or he'll do something where they allow him to be more creative and maybe help create a character, because he will create the best characters ever.
Yeah, well, that's what they do. They give him the permission. Yeah, they let him do it because they know he's outdone himself. Yes.
So if I didn't know who he was and I saw that signature, I'd say, hire that person right away. They're gonna, and they don't, and he didn't have any cuckoo stuff. Cuckoo-ness would have showed up in the top handwriting. His top handwriting shows that he is very level-headed. His head rules his heart. His head is in control.
Now
He
they say
feels-
he's very generous. Well, what where would it show generosity in his handwriting?
And generosity is in the what you see how he squeezes his words. The words are squeezed together.
Yes.
So that means that, like, if you ask him to budget money, he could budget it carefully. He could do money carefully, but the big spaces in between is the more space in a person's writing, the more generous they are.
Okay, because a lot of people on the set that he works with says he's very generous. And in a Disney production, everybody was freezing, and he bought 500 jackets for the whole cast. And it's not even his, Disney. He just went out and bought 500 jackets for everybody because they were freezing. So everybody he works with really loves him because of his generosity.
Well, you see how dark his handwriting is in relation to her light. When the darker a person's handwriting, the more they feel things. So he has empathy for anybody that's suffering, and he thought he could rescue this princess here, but instead she got mean. She got entitled. So she turned everything around to he has to fulfill her fantasy or she'll get even.
And she did, boy. She tried anyway. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. That was really, really enlightening. I learned a lot, and I really did learn a lot. That's really great that you can read these people's handwriting and just tell so much about their personalities. Thank you, babe. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
I agree. That was very interesting, and I did learn a lot there. So next we're going into the questions. Our first question is, how did Amber Heard react to the verdict? Pastor Moses, would you mind starting off, please?
Sure. Okay, let's see how Amber Heard reacts to the verdict. And the verdict was that she lost, right? And he won.
Yes.
Okay, so what I got is that, first of all, before the verdict, she was not sure she was going to win. I feel like she was thinking, there's a strong possibility that she might lose. So she wasn't that optimistic as the trial kept going on, moving forward. She started to get less confident. She felt like there was some conflict, in her statements or, in what she said. And it was brought to her attention. So she was a little nervous about that. And she started to feel a little sense of betrayal. But for some reason, she turned it around and made it feel like he was betraying her, that he was turning on her, that he was against her, so she started feeling that way. So I feel like a lot of her lies, because they are showing that there was a lot of lies and deception that came out during the trial, and that made her devastated. And she was really thinking, in one point she said, you know what, this is all about her getting more money. And in her head, she loves money. So she's thinking about all the money that she's going to be getting. But then she realized that it's not going her way. And that's when she started to feel like a sense of betrayal, like he's turning against her. Not that he's defending himself, but turning against her. So she felt a sense of betrayal, almost abandonment, hurt. Her ego was really, how would I say, it was killing her. It was feeling like, she wasn't as important as she thought she was. She wasn't as smart as she thought she was. Spirit corrected me and said she wasn't as smart as she thought she was. She thought she can manipulate and lie, and that she would be able, that everybody would believe her. So she felt a sense of betrayal, and everybody's just turned on her, and she felt like, hey, he's my husband. He was my husband at one time. He loved me at one time. He got money. He can give me some of that money. So she felt betrayed.
Thank you for that, Pastor Moses. That was very informative.
Welcome.
Next is Janet. Janet, would you mind going into how did Amber Heard react to the verdict, please?
Well, first of all, I said in the last reading that she was going to say, oh, I'm having a party and I got money. And because she got money, she believes in her world of self-deception that she totally won everything. What Pastor Moses said was exactly everything she felt, but she's going into denial about it and presenting herself as, oh no, I won this trial. Come on to my party, we're going to celebrate, and I won because I got money and I won. And that's how she has to do it, so she could live with herself. In the meantime, she's not able to accept the reality and has to go into that dark world of self-deception in order to survive.
Thank you, Janet. That was great. This question is for Virginia. Virginia, would you mind answering how did Amber Heard react to the verdict, please?
Yeah, I feel that Professor, the girl said, she knew she had that feeling she was going to lose because she had to deal with all his fans. As she walked into the courtroom, they were against her. Everybody was for him. And so I feel like that's the reason why she felt she wasn't going to win as much. And the other thing is, I think she was upset that it was over because she's an attention monger. And I think what upset her is like the attention isn't going to be on anymore. There's no more cameras in the courtroom. And she kind of knows she's basically done. So I feel that she was upset that there was no more attention on her, because that's what she, that personality lives with. That's the feeling I got from her. So that the attention was over, or her career was going to be over now. And she was upset with that as well.
Thank you, Virginia. That was great. And that makes a lot of sense comparing to what you said previously in the
Thank you.
first video. So our next question is, will Amber Heard be accountable for perjury? Virginia, would you mind starting us off, please?
Yeah, there's a lot of perjury going on all over. There's perjury. She's got perjury in Australia because she lied and said the dogs were registered there. I think they're going to make her accountable for that. I really feel Australia very strongly because she signed documents. And in England, she committed perjury because she said that she paid the 7 million to the two organizations, which she didn't. So that's a second perjury. And the worst perjury is in America, where she said that she needed all her divorce money to pay for the attorneys. And her attorney made that statement in the closing. And that was a lie because she used her house insurance to pay the attorneys. And so I definitely think that she will be accountable, and they are going to people, and the countries will be pressing charges, because this is a court of law, and you can't be lying. They take, we take law very seriously. So when they have documents to prove that you've committed perjury, I think they're going to pursue it in the 3 countries.
Thank you for that, Virginia. That was great. Pastor Moses, will Amber Heard be accountable for perjury?
Okay, so I'm just going to do overall because I really don't follow it. So I'm just going to see if she's going to be accountable for perjury.
Thank you.
I do feel like she will. I don't feel like all the different countries that Virginia mentioned. I do think that she will be accountable for perjury, maybe 1, possibly 2. Yes, I do think that she will be accountable for perjury too. If she gets any jail time, I kind of feel like it will be very short if she gets jail time. So there's a possible jail time. I don't even know how that goes, but it shows me that, but it won't be long. It won't be a long jail time. So yes.
Thank you, Pastor Moses. That was great. Janet, will Amber Heard be accountable for perjury?
The most damage that Amber Heard did is that all the nice women that love their husbands and try real hard to put up with the male, ways, and they have to, give in all the time a lot. But, we're reversed just as much. And all the women, the nice women in the world that have seen this case, they're very offended by this. And they don't like the idea of her getting away with things. So this is the American way. And the Americans will, mentally make sure that she has to answer to the charges of all her perjury. Now, this is going to go on for 2, maybe 3 years. She will be able to get out of it. She will have the threat of jail unless she admits things, but this will go on, and it will be very aggravating for her. But she did a very mean thing to a person that was trying very hard to live his life the best he could. And it was very mean. And a lot of women are not going to put up with that. And even though there are a lot of women who feel they're entitled to treat a man that way, maybe they'll learn their lesson from this. I hope so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that, Janet. So, Pastor Moses, will Amber Heard come up with the money to file the appeal?
Okay, let me check. Okay, so she's kind of feeling like, oh, he loved me at one time. Why could he do this to me? She's still hurting because she feels like she was hurt in her marriage. That's what she thinks. And when I'm looking at her coming out with the money, she's gonna tell a lot of lies to try to get the money. She will. She will try to manipulate and try to get people to be on her side. Try to definitely try to woo men and try to get them to want to give her money to help her. So I do think she's going to do a lot of talking, a lot of talking, a lot of talking, a lot of manipulation to try, especially with men, try to get them to give her money in order to come up with the appeal. I'm not sure she's going to get the money to come with the appeal, though. I'm not sure she's going to be successful. So I have to go with no. I don't think she will.
Thank you, Pastor Moses. That was very interesting. So, Virginia, will Amber Heard come up with the money to file the appeal?
I really strongly don't think she will, because the gig is up for her and men know the type of person she really is. I think that Elon might have helped her. He might help her a little bit, but I think they're gonna have to garnish share whatever she makes in order to pay for it. I don't think this time around there are gonna be any handouts. No, I don't feel like she's coming up with the appeal. No, money.
Thank you, Virginia. And Janet, will Amber Heard come up with the money to file the appeal?
Everything they said was true, but the entitlement and the mean women who also don't like their husbands will try to give her some or help her a little bit to be on her side, so they could justify the way they act. But whatever money she gets, she's going to hide anyway. It ain't going to go to appeal. She already knows she lost deep down inside. She just has to live in deception. So no, she's not going to. She'll come up with bare minimum for whatever is needed. But that's why it's going to extend, and she's going to go under stress, extreme stress, to figure out how to pay for fines that she will have to pay. But maybe they'll give her a pay plan. Yeah.
Great job, Janet. That was great. So, Pastor Moses, how has losing the case affected Amber Heard emotionally in the long run?
Okay, let's check. Okay, what it tells me is that it will affect her in the way she thinks. She used to think that she can get a man, she can somebody that's wealthy, because that's important, that somebody that has money. She can tell him anything he wants to hear, be his fantasy, and she can get him to marry her, and then she can be, live a life that she want to live, based on, how they treat her, her fantasy way of wanting to be treated. So she'll give him that fantasy in order for her to get her fantasy. And she's done that for a long time, but have realized that she's been hurt, emotionally hurt when she tries to hurt someone emotionally. It's almost like karma. So she realized that she gets some type of karma back, but she's not really fully invested in karma, but she realized that she'll get it back. So she's going to become very angry, extremely angry, like very not trusting of men, and she's going to even more target men with money. So she's going to try to leave her emotions completely out of this and just go for the money. And that's because she's going to be an angry woman, because she feels like, she's been hurt, but she's not looking at the hurt that she put out there. So she's going to be she's going to be even more sneaky, more deceptive. She will lie, she will cheat on her relationship. She will do anything it takes to get what she wants. So she will be emotionalist, and more sneaky. That's how it's going to affect her in terms of moving forward.
Thank you, Pastor Moses. That was very interesting to hear about the whole fantasizing part. Virginia, how has losing the case affected Amber Heard emotionally in the long run?
I think that now I think the feeling I get from her and the way she is, her personality, is that she's going to try and reinvent herself. I think she's going to change her hair color. I think she's going to change her makeup because she has to create a whole new persona because she's been had and now she can't live with that because in her mind she failed because she didn't win. So she looks at herself as a failure. So now she's going to try and reinvent herself into somebody new to escape her bad feelings. That's how I feel.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for that. Oh,
You're
go ahead, Pastor Moses.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you a question about emotionally. Now, you're saying she's doing that to escape, what's going on, but emotionally, how would it affect her in terms of emotion?
Well, that is emotional. In order to escape those emotions, she's feeling a failure. She's going to reinvent herself, make herself look different, change her persona because of the emotions of failure. She's not going to face it that she failed. She doesn't look like she lost. In her mind, in her feelings, she failed at gaining this money. You know what I mean? It's like she doesn't see it as she has to look inside herself and change the way she is. No, she looked like she failed herself in gaining the money, gaining the acclaim. So she's going to hide those bad feelings by reinventing herself.
Okay, thank you.
That's what I feel.
Thank you, Virginia. So, Janet, how has losing the case affected Amber Heard emotionally in the long run?
Well, it's the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other. And so in order for her to be able to cope with this big, thing that happened, and it's a really difficult situation. Everything everyone said so far is really true, but she's going to try to be a good mother. That's her last place where she'll feel safe being a good mother. She will try. Only if she's more authentic and she's more really trying to be a good mother, then she won't mix up her daughter. She'll be able to be a good mother, and that will be a way where she can live on the angel on her shoulder side.
Okay. So Janet, I'm sorry. So she's just going to be a good mother from this effect. That's what you feel.
That's the only band-aid that could hide some of the pain. You can't hide from the pain of destructiveness and cruelty and things you've done to another person. You can't hide from that. You're going to have to pay for it. And so she, instead of going to jail, she's going to try to prove that she's a good mother and she wants to take care of her child. And that would be actually a way that she could save herself.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Janet. So the next question is, what type of men will Amber Heard date after this trial? Virginia, would you mind starting us off, please?
Yeah, I think she's going to go after an older gentleman. I think she's going to look, she's still looking, she still wants her career, she still wants the limelight. So I still think she's going to find somebody who's powerful and someone who's going to help her in her career. People in power, people who she can gain from. I don't feel like she's going to get married anytime soon, maybe in the future, but I just feel she's putting her feelers out as to who's going to help her. I think she looks at men as stepping stones to enhance her career. And I really feel that she relived her life. I really think she doesn't like men. I think because she's bisexual, she was trying to fix Johnny like her father, because she had these issues with her father. But I think she's going to go back to women. I don't feel she might marry another woman. I just don't feel she'll see men for her career, but I think that her main relationship will be with another woman.
Wow, that's
Thank you,
interesting.
Virginia. That's interesting. I agree with Pastor Moses.
Yeah, very
Janet, yeah. Janet, what type of men will Amber Heard date after this trial?
Well, right now, all the men that want an opportunity to get some publicity are going to be all charming to her and try to rescue her and believe in her and, you know, become part of the princess world. And they'll fall for it. And it's all temporary. There'll be a lot of temporaries on and off. And she'll actually accept she'll have a few younger men around that are a little bit naive to her ways and that don't know anything like we know. So she'll be safer with them. She might go out with one of them here and there. There's no permanent relationship at this time. It might be after a couple of years when all the court cases are over that if she pulls herself together, there will be like Virginia said, an older man. He'll be a little older and he'll be able to feel like he's strong enough to protect her and help her. He'll have a need to help her and feel like he could help her as long as she learned her lessons about being more nice, you know, even if it's fake nice, it's still, she has to be nice. Otherwise, but he will give her enough money that will kind of make her nice enough. And so she should end up like that if she doesn't do things to destroy herself. I think she'll be getting a lot of help though.
Okay, that's interesting. Thank you, Janet. Pastor Moses, what type of men will Amber Heard date after this trial?
Yes, let me check. Well, I feel like Amber Heard is something similar to what I got before. She's going to only go for money. She's going to go for money. She felt like she's been hurt and betrayed by men too many times. So she will only look for men that has money, that can benefit her, that can financially benefit her. And it feels like she's making a decision that she's not going to get emotionally attached again. She had men that left her. She felt like have left her. I just feel like the energy feels like she's been left by men, and so she's not trying to get emotionally attached again. So money is going to be the key thing that she's looking for. Love is something that she doesn't want to invest any emotion in when it comes to men. So I feel like they will be older. She feels like older men will be less demanding for intimacy. So she doesn't want that intimacy with them. So I feel like she wants to just be an oldest man fantasy and not be somebody that she has to get intimate on a regular basis. She doesn't want anything that closeness. She wants to have that separate life. She wants to be with a man that she can have a separate life, her own life. You know what I mean? Maybe even not. I mean, they can live together, but not be together. Maybe have their own rooms. You know what I mean? They own everything. She doesn't really want to have that, like I said, that intimacy. So that's the man she was gonna go with. A man that has money, a man that's older, a man maybe very old, that maybe he's, don't have that many years on this earth. You know what I mean? So she's looking at money down the road, in terms of inheritance, or, it just feels like that's what she's gonna go for in terms of long term.
That was interesting, Pastor Moses. Thank you. So, Virginia, we are going to start off with you. Will Amber Heard be featured in Aquaman 2?
My gut feeling is no, I don't think so, because the reason why is because I think that it would be a financial risk. Even though they keep saying she's only has 10 minutes in the show, in the movie, I think in the long run, the director, I think at the last minute is going to remove those 10 minutes or 25 minutes. They keep going back and forth with 10 minutes and 25 minutes. And I think in the long run, it's going to cost them way too much money, because there's a lot of Johnny Depp fans that will not go and see it. You know, we're talking in the millions. So that's a lot of money for Warner Brothers to put out for the production and not get back. That's what I feel the reason is. They will take her out completely.
Thank you for that, Virginia.
You're welcome.
Janet, will Amber Heard be featured in Aquaman 2?
The reason that she will not be accepted into it is because the movie industry has to cater to presenting images of either fun, of good ideas, influence people, and make everybody feel good. The mothers of the world that know what Amber did do not want to expose their children to that kind of actress. It's not good publicity. It's not good for the movie industry. It's not good for making money anymore. So they might say, well, we might take her, we might not, just to get some publicity about the movie, but she will not be in it because the movie industry wants to make America and other countries feel good and entertained, not see a horrible person get rewarded in a movie role.
Thank you, Janet. Pastor Moses, will Amber Heard be featured in Aquaman 2?
Sure. Janet, by the way, I agree with you. I do agree with I'm gonna see what it shows me, but I do agree with the fact that Aquaman movie is a child movie. It's for young kids. So, mothers are going to be looking at that, So
yeah.
They will upon them that they want a good character, a good role model, I should say.
They don't want their sons exposed to a mean woman, or to give energy to a mean woman, or to let their sons even find out there's mean women. They want to protect their sons to believe that most women are nice, and all the women want that too.
I agree with that. Okay, let me check and see what. When I look at it, I feel like there's conflicted. I can feel conflict. I feel like what you said is very important because they're looking at how the mothers are going to see this, how the women are going to see this, the image of this woman who's done the things that she's done. She got a bad reputation. She tried to mess up Johnny Depp reputation, and it turned around and backfired on her. It messed up her reputation. So it feels like they're thinking that putting her in this movie, even though it feels like people are familiar with her, I think she was in another movie, they're familiar with her, they feel like this will. So I would have to go with what you said. I feel like they're really thinking about this is not going to work for them. They think they need to get somebody that look like her. You know what I mean? I got energy like they want to get somebody that maybe looks similar to her, and replace her with someone else.
Well, you're right.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Janet?
Your cards are always right. I'm reading the cards at the same time you are, and I agree with everything you're saying.
Thank you, Pastor Moses. So our next question is, did Amber really poop on Johnny Depp's bed? Would you mind starting us off, Pastor Moses?
Oh yeah, this is a fun one. I need Virginia to come and tell us the story about what was going on and why they're saying what they're saying. So Virginia, can you do that first, and then I can answer that question?
Yeah, yes. They had a big fight a few days prior to that incident, and she was gone. And because she was gone for the weekend, he wanted to come back to the penthouse and get some of his things that were very valuable to him while she wasn't in the house. So his security guard said, "You can't go in the house." And he said, "What do you mean I can't go in the house? I got to get my stuff." He said no, and he insisted on why. And the security guard took a picture of human feces on the bed on his side of the bed. But he went in anyway, and he was totally devastated by this, that she had done this. And they have two little dogs, and they knew it weren't the little dogs because it was human size. And so his security guard took a picture of it to show him, and they used that in court.
Okay, so thank you for that, because I want to see for myself did she do it or not, but I appreciate it. So were they breaking up at the time? Was this getting a breakup? Is that why you said?
Yeah, they had a major fight. This, I think, was their breakup fight. And she had left for the weekend. He was coming back and he wanted to get some of his stuff, and it was left on his side of the bed. So they don't know if she actually did it, but they know it was human feces, but they don't know if she actually did it or one of her friends did it. So that's a big question, who actually did this.
Okay, thank you. Alrighty, so now I'm going to answer the question and see if Amber Heard pooped on Johnny Depp's bed. Okay.
I know who did it. Let's see if you match.
Alrighty, let's check. I really believe she did it. They're kind of making me feel like she was hurt. She was hurt, so she did it. There was some words, some really bad words that were said to each other. Okay, I can feel that, some real bad words, and I can feel that because of that she wanted to be vengeful. So they make me feel like yes, she did it.
Okay.
Thank you for that, Pastor Moses. Virginia, did Amber Heard?
Oh, Janet wants to go.
Yeah, you didn't ask me. I know who did it.
Yeah, wait, no, she got an order in what she's doing.
Okay.
Amanda's the moderator. Let her do it.
Now I'm not telling who did it.
Virginia, did Amber Heard really poop on Johnny Depp's bed?
I feel that she did because it goes along with her character. Like it was a statement like, I don't give a crap, I don't give a crap. And she popped it on the bed. I feel like it was a very, like, it suits her personality, where she has to make a very large, disgusting statement. So yes, I think she did it.
I like to put that, Virginia, I don't give a crap. I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That feels right to me. It feels like, yeah, I don't care. Yeah, this is what I feel about you. You know what I mean? That makes sense. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Virginia. And Janet, did Amber Heard really poop on Johnny Depp's bed?
Princesses don't do things like that. They don't want to dirty their self. But I know who did it, and it was someone who did it for her.
Okay. Who did it? A friend or something? Something
like that.
Yeah, there were a lot of friends at the house at the time.
Okay, cool.
It was done more as a joke or a prank or something it wasn't really done like people are thinking. It was just done as another I'll get even thing. That's it. Someone in sympathy of her and wanted to think it would be funny. and laughed about it with all her little friends. I know who did it. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, but the problem with that is she's going to be remembered for that for the rest of her career.
Yeah.
You know, so the
Stupid,
friends
stupid.
didn't do her a favor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was stupid, stupid, stupid. People react. You don't know how many people are going to react and do something stupid for all this things that went on. They're not going to be able to think logically like intelligent people. They're going to think of stupid things.
So,
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So our next question that we are going into, Pastor Moses, would you mind starting this off? It is, will the verdict for Johnny Depp help abused men come forward?
Yes, I would. You're kind of getting low again, Amanda.
Okay, so will the verdict for Johnny Depp help abused men come forward?
Thank you. Let's check. Okay. So when I look at this, I do think it'll help some, not all. A lot of men feels like ego-wise do not want to say that they're being abused by a woman. So I feel like even though some men feel there's some victory in this, especially men that are, how do I say, they're brokenhearted, they're devastated, they're very hurt by the woman. I mean, extremely hurt, and they really don't care. Those are the men that I feel that it will help some of them, but not all. You know, a lot of men are not going to do like the women do and just kind of go forward and take them to court and sue them or, you know, battery women or whatever. I just kind of feel like it'll help a few. It'll make a few of them feel like they have a chance of winning, but not overall because of the ego.
That's interesting. I do agree with you, Pastor Moses, the whole gender role thing of like men not coming forward opposed to women.
Right.
Virginia, would you mind explaining, will the verdict for Johnny Depp help abused men come forward?
I definitely think it's going to give a whole new perspective for men, especially men who've been taken advantage of financially, that they've been used. And I think what's happening now is that a lot of men who have a lot of money are coming forward to show how they've been abused by women financially. And I really feel that men will think about it now. If they've been abused, they will question the relationship they've been in. Is this a normal situation? You know, because the question is, do men get physically abused? So I think it opens the perspective for everyone to realize that men do get abused. It's a good door opener. It's a good turn of a century thing that yes, men get abused just like women, and it's a good opening. Maybe it'll take time, more time down the road, but women will start questioning themselves. Have I abused my husband? You know, so I think it's a good conscious awareness for everyone. I think he's brought conscious awareness for everyone to question that, you know, so in that sense, yes, I think it will.
Thank you, Virginia. Janet, will the verdict for Johnny Depp help abused men come forward?
The negative publicity from this type of case is not going to do any good for anyone, because of the fact that anytime people are angry over injustice or things that aren't right, and everybody gets to express it, and you can bring it out on the streets, or they can express their prejudice against somebody of a different color or race or whatever, that they did something wrong, and they were justified in being angry about it. Everybody would murder everybody on the street every minute. We would have no peace. This kind of publicity to bring out these kind of horrors is not really a healing for the spiritual people who want to live their life in peace and have peace in the world. There's always going to be angry about something. and you can't not just exploit it on TV or in a case. It was not good for the country or for people to be exposed to this. Hopefully, it doesn't keep up. And other men, yes, they will start to do something about it. Just like the women who got touched to get a part will start, ruining the careers of other people. But you can't make it a fad. You can't make it a trend. It has to be dropped. That's it. A negative experience, we drop it. We want to just spend our energy in a spiritual world where people can help other people and love other people. And the people that are angry, let the anger dissolve for a while. And you do get divorced in this country if you're too angry. You just quietly get divorced. That's it. You don't have to tell the whole world the negative side of human nature. That's it.
Thank you, Janet. My next question is, was Johnny Depp being emotionally and physically abused by Amber Heard? Virginia, would you mind starting us off with that?
Yes, I do believe that he was emotionally and physically abused by her. I think it was very traumatic for him, because I feel that's what caused him to drink more or do drugs more, from her verbal abuse, which affected him emotionally. There were times where they were in public and he was flinching if she raised a hand, but psychically feeling absolutely. I also think that she provoked him so much that there were times when he lashed out at her as well, but I think that she initiated the abuse and created him to drink more, escape more, because he is a creative person, and creative person are sensitive people. They do not handle criticism or manipulation very well. So I definitely think that she had the tactics to abuse him somewhat terribly. Yeah, I definitely think that.
That's interesting. Thank you for that, Virginia.
You're welcome.
Janet, was Johnny Depp being emotionally and physically abused by Amber Heard?
Without trust, there can be no love. And he was hoping that, it was just part of her personality, negativeness, and he could overcome it. But it did turn into a very strong abuse. And it was not something that, a very, very sensitive, creative person could handle. It's a good thing he didn't really get violent. Most men would have really done stuff by now.
That's interesting. Thank you, Janet.
Sorry, Janet. I'm sorry. Janet, I just want to know, first, Bill abusing him was abusing Johnny.
Say that again.
Was Amber Heard abusing Johnny? Was he emotionally and physically abusing Johnny?
Yes, definitely. He protected her. She did a lot of bad things. Yeah, he protected her. He wanted things to work. He wanted it to work out.
Okay.
Thank you for that, Janet. Pastor Moses, was Johnny Depp being emotionally and physically abused by Amber Heard?
Yes, let me check. Well, let's do it this way. So I feel like there was a lot of fighting, and I feel like, yes, she was abusing him. She emotionally, she would say some really horrible things to him that she knew that would hurt him. She knew how to make him angry. She knew how to make him feel bad. She knew that he had low self-esteem. So I feel like emotionally abusing him. And then I feel like physical abuse as well. I feel like she knew that he would not get violent with her. I feel like he knew that he wouldn't physically hit her. But he does know, she does know that he can be a little cruel too. He can say some mean things as well. But emotionally, she feels like she had an upper hand because he's a little more sensitive than she is. So, and then I feel like she would just kind of, I can feel like she'll throw things, she'll do all kinds of things. I can feel those energies, like definitely throwing things, whatnot. So she would be physically abusive as well as emotionally abusive to him. So I think yes, without a doubt.
That was interesting. Thank you, Pastor Moses.
Welcome.
So, my next question is for you, Pastor Moses. What type of woman will Johnny Depp date in the future?
Okay, what type of woman will Johnny Depp date in the future? Oops, cards all over. Give me a second. All righty. Okay. The funny part is that he's still gonna go for emotions. He's still gonna go for someone he feels for, someone he cares about. Even though he's been hurt so many times, it feels with women, and especially this one. It's still love is important to him. Compatibility, emotional attachment. That's important to him. So he's gonna go for emotions. And then he's gonna go for marriage, actually. He's gonna want to get married again. I feel like, he thinks that all marriages have fights, people fight in marriage. He believes that that's, part of life. But I feel like he still will go for women that he cares about greatly. I feel like he'll start, I got dark hair, so he might be attracted to a woman that has dark hair color. And I just kind of feel like his heart's broken. He might stay out of a relationship or really serious relationship for a little while. But I do think that he will find somebody that he wants to be with forever, long term. He's going to look for marriage long term, having a soul connection with somebody he can, really connect with. Yes.
Thank you, Pastor Moses. So, Virginia, what type of woman will Johnny Depp date in the future?
Right now, I have a very, very strong feeling that he's reconnecting with his past loves for healing in the love department. I really feel that he's going to try and hit it off with his ex Kate Moss. But I don't see that it's really going to work. But I think it's just a comfort. It's, something he knows. It's familiar. So I just get a strong feeling that he's trying to be with Kate Moss right now. I did his chart, and I did his astrology chart. He has his first house in the North Node, which is in the 7th house, which means that his relationship, he's done his relationship. So the best thing for him is not to get married. That's why I think with Vanessa Paradis, they stayed together for 14 years. They were in a relationship. They knew each other for so long, but he never married her, and it lasted for 14 years. So I really think he shouldn't get married because it won't work. He's better off living with somebody according to his astrology chart, because he's got the North Node in the 7th house, which means he's completed with marriage. So his best thing is to live with someone. It would work out a lot better. And I feel that he's just, it's going to take him a while to get over the hurt, and he's just going to date here and there. And he's going to be, I think he learns a big lesson that there's more to life than somebody that looks fabulous. You know what I mean? I think he's going to dig a little deeper in his soul and find somebody. I'm not saying that he still won't be a rescuer, but somebody that's not as needy in the attention department. I think he's going to be very cautious for that, and an uphill climber who's looking, to use him for their career.
That's really interesting, Janet. Virginia, thank you.
You're welcome.
Janet, Would you mind going into what type of woman will Johnny Depp date in the future?
Well, he's going to have a lot of friends around him right now. People he could feel that he could trust their motives and everything. He just needs his friends. So for a long time, there'll be different girls he'll date as friends or be friends, go places with friends. He'll he will have some close relationships, but the main thing he's going to be looking for, but I don't know if he knows it yet, is a girl that kind of laughs easily, a lighthearted girl. He'll want someone that's intelligent, and he won't and she'll be fun, but she'll keep to herself. She'll be not a hung. He won't meet her in the field of acting or anything like that, unless she's just maybe in the background somewhere and just a real decent person that's kind. He'll look for kindness, and he's going to look for authenticness and a person that's basically already happy and that is kind and will be a person that laughs. He needs that easygoing laughter. He wants to go out to dinner and laugh and not worry about problems or talk about anything. And that would just be there for him. He will find her. And in fact, I kind of saw them going to Las Vegas together, saying, "Oh, let's get married by Elvis," just to do something funny. She's going to think of funny things. I don't know if you're going to do it, but I know that is going to come up because that came up psychically for me, that she was talking to him like that. And he will be okay the rest of his life, but he'll move somewhere where there's not a lot of people around, and he could have a more private life because she would be more of a girl that didn't want the social life. She just wants a family and privacy. So she'll go places with him, and she'll look, decent. He won't want a girl that wears a lot of makeup either. She has to be more natural. It's real important to him that she's more natural.
Thank you, Janet.
Yeah.
You said he's going to get married with Elvis marriage kind of thing. That's funny.
What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
What did you say about Elvis getting married with Elvis?
Oh yeah.
That he's like he's gonna get married and have Elvis be the pastor or the preacher. Is that what you mean by that?
Well, yeah, he was. It's fun, anything, but it might even just be a fantasy, and then they don't do that. They do something conservative, but small, not real. Not. He wants quietness now. Maybe in a while he wants quietness. Right now, he needs support, but eventually he just wants a quieter life where he can enjoy the person he's with. Very important to him.
It's so funny you said it because we talked about the handwriting with all the fantasies. So getting married with Elvis like Las Vegas would be a funny fantasy, right?
Yeah, and she laughs a lot, so she say, "Oh, that's funny. Let's go do that." Like she likes to do what he likes to do. It's not like she's pretending to like what he likes to do. She likes it.
Yeah, she's more authentic. Okay, that makes sense. Cool. Thank you. That's funny. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Janet. So, Pastor Moses, how has this affected Johnny Depp emotionally?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry, dear.
How has this affected Johnny Depp emotionally?
Okay. Right now, he's devastated. Emotionally, he's really devastated. It's like he's thinking that at this point right now, he's thinking that he won't get involved with anybody serious right now, but that's going to be short term. And I believe that what Virginia said, there's some truth about that I can feel that he's going to go to his past and he's going to, talk to women from his past and just kind of try to get the advice. And the women that he talked to, they feel like they have their own money. So he's going to go to them and, try to, connect with them just to kind of see, because it's almost like he's going to do a little searching, soul searching, but not completely about what's going on. What did I do to fix it, to do so things will be better for him moving forward? So I just kind of feel like he's very conflicted, very hurt and very devastated, and just thinking like right now, I don't want any real relationships. I don't want marriage. But again, I feel like it's going to change. And then he's going to start thinking of ways that he can really secure himself financially, where if he get married, somebody's not going to take his stuff. You know what I mean? He's going to make sure that he won't lose and become broke again. He's going to try to talk to the rich people stuff. How do you secure your money? You know, like Donald Trump got a real serious prenup agreement. That no matter, that's why he's getting married. They don't get anything after divorce. So he's going to get something like a real serious prenup, so nothing like that happens. He's going to make sure he can't sue. He's going to make sure this don't happen to him again. This is what it feels like.
Thank you, Pastor Moses. So Janet, how has this affected Johnny Depp emotionally?
Well, first of all, he will need enough energy to fulfill the perfection he wants for his movies. And he's going to fall short of that energy because when you are on a defense, which he put him on, that affects the body's spleen. And when the spleen is stressed, it causes immunity problems. And when the immunity problems come, it weakens your whole energy. And now he has to go back and do this movie with all his wonderful fantasies with the lowest amount of energy and the highest amount of stress. So, and he has to meet someone into nutrition to help him get through it. But otherwise, he will fall back and he will, you know, need support. If he doesn't get the support that he needs for his defenses that he and his physical harm that was done to him from the stress, that within 2 years, he will only go have like 2 years before he has a major crisis. So he could fall down. I only hope people will come and help him.
Janet, Virginia, how has this affected Johnny Depp emotionally?
Well, it's very interesting that Janet said that, because I sent his I was able to send via an email to send him to Gary Null to help, because what I was feeling was that hearing all his drug addiction out to the public, everything he did drug wise, made him really take a good look at himself and what the negative side of that is. And I feel that he's going to be very serious about cleaning his act up and his health up. I just hope, like Janet says, that he gets the right help. I did mention and emailed that he should be going to Gary Null. That could really help him get his life back in focus, because he's seen everything, all the years. You know, he went from childhood in court to present, and to see that and to see everybody see that in public is a real slap in the face to wake you up and do the right thing. So I think that's where he's at right now because of this trial.
Thank you, Virginia.
You're welcome.
Janet, will this have a long-term psychological effect on Johnny Depp?
Yes, and the fact that we have a show with 3 psychics that are all honest and intelligent enough to send out a call for help. Somebody, whoever you can, get him to a natural person, a natural healer, natural herbalist, vitamins. If he gets on that, he can recover real fast and he can go right back into his real creative, crazy, wonderful ideas and have a wonderful life. And it's us psychics are here because we want to save people like this. Anybody that's destroyed, their creativeness is destroyed. You need a psychic to say, this will not end good unless you get on good nutrition support. And a little bit of nutrition support, not a whole big mucka stuff, but basic nutrition support to keep the immune system strong. And that will allow the adrenal glands to create the energy you need to do to be the creative person you were born with. You cannot deny. Being forced to deny your creative self makes you lose the life you want to live and that you should live. You need help. And we are here on this show to help him, because that's what we all do. We help.
Thank you, Janet. So will it affect him psychologically? What was the question again, Amanda?
Will this have a long-term psychological effect on Johnny Depp?
Yes, it could, because you cannot, if you have stress and you have a spleen that is defending itself against everything, you don't have that wonderful energy to create a million things and do all the wonderful things you do. You have to be in good health.
Okay, thank you, Janet.
Moses, the question for you is, will this have a long-term psychological effect on Johnny Depp?
Who is it for?
Pastor Moses.
Okay, sure. To the end, is that correct? I think we have one more question, right?
Yes, we do have one more question.
Okay, a few minutes, so let's. Okay. Yes, it will have a long-term effect, but I think that he is going to try to make some changes. Like they said, health-wise, he's going to make changes. And mentally, he's going to go back to his past and just look at it and see what he's done and what he needs to do. Like I said before, I feel like this is going to have a long-term effect on him, but it's going to work out better for him in the long run, because he's going to choose wisely this time. He's going to choose a better partner. He's going to do more healthier things, because he doesn't want this to happen again. He's tired of this. So yes.
Thank you, Pastor Moses. So our final question is, will Amber Heard and Johnny Depp reconcile? Pastor Moses, would you mind starting us off with this question?
Sure. Okay, so first of all, he's tired of her. He's just really tired of her. He's sick of her. He doesn't want to be bothered with her. But yet, again, I feel like he's going to go back to his past and talk to these women from past. Virginia had mentioned something like that. She's going to be one of them. Not now, down the road. He will have a conversation to find out, basically, looking at himself. You know, he's going to be trying to take a good look at himself. And he's going to realize that she was all about the money. You know what I mean? It was nothing that he needed to change other than not choose her. And only if he chooses her, he chooses her for a life lesson, you know, which is a very important life lesson, by the way, because I feel like there's going to be some changes for him, because he was devastated. But this devastation, you know, you heard the saying, when you go to the bottom, there's no other place to go but to the bottom. So it's like he got to rock bottom. So he's on no other place but up, right? He can stay at the bottom or he can go up. And I feel like he will. And I feel like this will help him, again, really look at his money very carefully and how to protect his money. So yes, I feel like, no, they won't reconcile. Yes, they'll have conversations down the road.
Virginia, will Amber Heard and Johnny Depp reconcile?
Absolutely not. I think that he feels sorry for her. I think I don't really feel that he's like angry, nasty, or vindictive, but I do think that he feels sorry for her, but he's definitely closed that door. You know, it's because it was too painful. It's way too painful. And he realizes that the type of help she needs, he doesn't have. I think he's understood that, yes, he tried to help her, he tried to protect her, but the type of help she needs, he really can't accommodate her. You know what I mean? So I think he's closed the door completely. Like Pastor said, if he sees her down the road and they talk, it wouldn't be to reconciliate. It would be just to get a perspective, but never to open that door again.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So the last question is for, right, Amanda?
Heard and Johnny Depp reconcile?
Well, they're not really going to do that, but there'll be times where, you know, legally, through legal things, he'll have to talk to her and she'll have to talk to him. But the big surprise is that at one point, and I don't know when, it'll be a while, she's actually going to call him. Maybe she has a couple of drinks and she'll say, oh, you know, I didn't really mean to be like that, but you pushed me to it. And, you know, I just think we should still always kind of stay friends. And I didn't really, if you just didn't do all that stuff to me, I wouldn't have had to do that. Don't you understand? And that's going to be probably the last conversation, you know, that he would ever have with her, because I was surprised that she's going to try to act like she's so innocent and he made her do it. So he really just really had enough, and it's not helping him.
Thank
Yes.
you, Janet. Time's up. I think it's 30.
Pastor Moses, do you have any closing remarks?
No, I want to thank everybody for joining. Please, if you want a reading from either one of us, Virginia, Janet, myself, you can go to our bio and we have all the information there. Thanks for joining us. We'll see y'all next Saturday at 2 p.m.